Hello viewers, I'm Jane, the ultimate Filipina. Today's entertainment episode is one of my believe or not stories about Maria, a 25 years old Islam Filipina who learned from YouTube that marrying senior expats can result in economic prosperity. Like all my believe it or not stories, it's up to your imagination to separate fact from fiction. However, remember that in the Philippines, facts, reality, and fiction are intertwined with each other quite frequently. My story begins with Maria, a 25 years old single mom, living in the slum with her mom and her 3 years old daughter, whose father was a shopping mall 32 years old security guard, who was married but separated and living with another Filipina. He had impregnated the same time he impregnated Maria. In fact, her baby and his other baby were born just months apart in age. He of course ran for the hills when he discovered Maria was pregnant and disavowed any intimate relationship with her. Maria's mother sewed clothes for a living, and the baby put additional strain on food and resource. Maria's mother demanded she find work and help with bills and food. Maria was a very dark-skinned morena and felt no matter what job she applied for, her skin complexion would prevent her from being hired for most customer service jobs or even domestic work. Maria was determined to escape poverty and provide for her mom and daughter. She had a cheap mobile phone, but worked all jobs like ironing and picking up trash in the park, which gave enough income for milk and data phone loads. She watched intensively foreigners' channels which emphasized huge age gap marriage, where the foreigner died and the Filipina was left with a house he built and arranged for the wife to have a substantial bank account before death. She devised a plan to meet senior expats who were in their 70s and convinced them to marry her as an ultimate Filipina. Through sheer entertainment and luck, she meets Cedric, a handicapped 75 years old expat who had built his deceased Filipino wife a 4 million pesos house in Ormoc, Leyte, before she died. He continued to live in the house after her death based on pre-arranged ownership agreement through legal procedures. She saw him at a coffee shop in a wheelchair with his caregiver and bought him a coffee and took it to him. After some conversation, he gave her his phone number, and after 2 months of texting, video calls, and late-night talks, he asked Maria to marry him. She agreed and they immediately married online, at first in Utah, which gave them a U.S. marriage license. The online marriage license is virtually considered a legal marriage now in most countries including the Philippines. Maria made sure before intimacy Cedric took 4 or 5 Viagra pills due to his weak libido. Cedric died 6 months after their marriage in his sleep and considered a heart attack while sleeping by the coroner. Prior to his death, Cedric had created a legal document or will giving Maria all his property and savings. Maria had fired the caregiver after marriage to protect her interest, but in his will, Cedric gave the caregiver 500,000 pesos. Maria inherited 20 million pesos, so she didn't object to the caregiver's inheritance. She immediately moved her mom in the house and mourned for 6 months, then met Ralph, a 78 years old single expat at coffee break in the local mall, who was single with an artificial heart valve and recovering from several strokes. They are now married and he is a retired dentist and has a net worth of 1 million pesos with investments and stocks in several pharmacy companies. He has not died yet, but suffered 2 more strokes and now is in the hospital under intensive care. Although already set for life, Maria will reap a jackpot if Ralph dies. The odds are in her favor. When I met Maria for an interview and asked her how she really felt about dating, kissing and banging older men, she said, "You can enjoy and love any man if the outcome benefits the both of you." She had to choose between poverty or kissing and banging an old foreigner, and she chose the latter. The only regrets she has is that she should have been banging a foreigner instead of the security guard years ago. I'm Jane, the ultimate Filipina, wishing you an ultimate day, an ultimate life in the Philippines. Take care. Bye!